Now, let me say something about this 2020 election, is that Biden is the legitimate president, but he's the legitimate president of what is now the bankrupt U.S. corporation. And that was a treaty in 1871.
What's good, BlockNation? I'm Queen.
I'm D.
And I'm Maverick. Welcome to BlockNation, you guys. Make sure you guys opt into our text BlockNation to 26786. And also get yourself some merch at shopblocknation.com. We got hoodies, flip-flops, everything for your BlockNation needs. Again, that's 26786 for BlockNation. Text opt-in and shop BlockNation.
Yeah, I mean, this
Show.
making it make sense. Lace up, let's get wealthy. Y'all know what time it is.
Y'all already know Rick, an honorary member, so he don't really need an introduction.
Yes, sir.
Word up.
But for sure. But this episode is going to be a discussion on Brics and what's getting ready to go down August 22nd through the 24th in South Africa. So this is to me, this is mainstream media news, and it should be getting way more coverage because this is really, in my opinion, a big deal. Really, it might not even really be an opinion. It's really a fact. It's really a big deal. So I guess we'll start off with telling the people what Brics is. So do you want to tell people what Brics is?
Absolutely.
Or what it stands for? Okay.
Absolutely. So BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. You know what I'm saying? So BRICS is 42% of the world's population, 23% of the global GDP, 17% of the world trade, 26.6% of world land area, and 13% of the world voting power. And guess what? They're expanding. So let me show you the proposed expansion and what lands is pretty much going to cover.
That's a bet. That's crazy. 42% of the world's population.
And that's just the 5 countries.
Yeah.
So
Yo,
wait
it's
until they
insane.
get the rest of them joints. They the ultimate boy band right now.
They are the ultimate boy band. You know what I mean? And it's wild, but you know this is what we try to tell the people. Look at like all this area, like the proposed expansion. So we talking about
people be
over
trying to
here.
downplay this, bro. They be trying to downplay this like this not a big deal. Like this ain't a lot of people. Like this ain't gonna affect nothing.
Yeah, look
Nah,
at all this.
Like-
Look at all this. This is a lot. This is a lot, and I'm pretty sure there's more countries and territories that's about to pull up. Like,
Oh, it is. We're gonna go over it. We're gonna go over it.
But they gotta understand is it's a trend, and that's what people really need to grasp. It's not about it's what's right now. It's these countries and these institutions and people. They thinking about 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 100 years in advance. So while most people think about day to day, and their reality hasn't changed from this news, they think it's not a big deal. It's not necessarily about today. It's about your tomorrow and your future. And then not only that, it's about the future that you're leaving for your future generations and your loved ones. So that's why it's important that we are aware of what's taking place globally, because this is a connected economy. It's a global connected economy. And I got, you know, some other slides to show with that as far as the G7, okay, is in a decline right now. This shows you, here is BRICS. They started out in the 1990s and they've been slowly the GDP, because they're the emerging economies. You know what I'm saying? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, they're the emerging economies. Then you have the G7, right? Which is Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK, and the US, which you see has been in a decline since then. So now, if you just project these lines out, you can see the future. You can see what are the fastest growing economies and what economies are in a rapid decline. And so that's why we're seeing a lot of the chaos that we're seeing around the globe with wars, with famine, with economic crises. It's literally because of this shift and the change in power and the fight against that, trying to maintain control.
Which is crazy
Man.
because
That's
a
wild.
lot of people don't know, like you said, Russia is a part of that. And Russia just became the second biggest GDP in the world. That just happened. So it's crazy right now. Like the the powers that be on that side, like we're seeing some historic shit right now. Like this is crazy right now.
It's crazy how you can see the trend on that chart though. Like you can really see it, and that's what all of these countries that's applying for BRICS are preparing for, because they're looking 10 years ahead. And that's what people don't realize. They think because right now we still using the dollar to pay bills and pay for groceries and stuff, that this is not happening. And it is. And it's like, if you're not preparing for the longevity of the effects of this, you're about to be screwed. Like this is a big deal. So I really want to go over who's going to be in attendance at the BRICS discussion. It's going to be South Africa there, of course, they're hosting it. The president from China will be there, the president from Brazil, the president from India. I'm sorry, Brazil's president, India's prime minister. So Putin won't be there due to Ukraine pressing charges on him and trying to arrest him. So Putin will be there virtually, and he's supposed to be sending one of his men there in attendance. I think I'm gonna let Rick. I ain't even about to mess that man name up. Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah. So what happened is because the International Criminal Court, ICC, whatever, they issued that warning against to try to get Putin, trying to say because he invaded and he's committing crimes against humanity and all that. And so he sent Sergei Lavrov, I think that's how you say it, Lavrov, in his stead. You know what I'm saying? Because they want South Africa to arrest Putin, and they're saying they won't, but it's probably safer that he just doesn't come. To it doesn't create an international crisis or some type of event. So yeah, he's going to send somebody else there. He's going to send Sergei Lavrov,
which I don't think they would. I don't know if they would.
Yeah, that'd be crazy to try to do something to Putin going
at the summit.
I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If he did actually pull up, right? Remember what he just did for Africa. He did it for a lot of African nations. He forgave over $23 billion in debt.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if he's pulling up.
There. Listen, they shaking hands, they dapping each other up on stage. That's why I
don't think they'll do
it. But I don't put nothing past America and what they'll have up their sleeve to try and ruin that if that man was to pull up. So I think that's why he's just gonna play it safe. Because at the end of the day, you still can't sleep on America's abilities to do some stuff. So I don't blame him. I would play it safe. But I get you definitely right though, bro.
That sounds like some Marvel shit. You know what I mean? Like, didn't that happen to what's his name's father?
Oh yeah,
Black Panther.
Yeah.
He Black pulled Panther, up to one of them meetings.
Yeah. He pulled up and they blew that shit up. I was like, damn, they killed his papa.
Right.
That's wrong.
Man, that was messed up, bro. So what we can get into next is what will be discussed at this summit. So I know it's supposed to be surrounding China seeking to boost its geopolitical trade and infrastructure. But it's some tensions right now with the US and China. So that's supposed to be like the center of it. But we all know this is also them introducing the gold-backed currency.
They didn't go after Bush. Y'all want us to lock up Putin, but y'all ain't go after Bush, Cheney. Y'all ain't go after all these people who were involved in the wars in the Middle East that created all kind of crimes against humanity and things of this nature. So it's a lot of hypocrisy, and the West acts like people don't remember what they've done and what they thought they got away with. And then when they try to impose something on somebody else, it's like, well, look at what they say, the kettle calling the pot black or something like that. Like, how you gonna try to act like y'all clean, perfect?
That's what be the delusional part about it, bro. It's straight they straight delusional, bro. Very similar to what happened in 1944 when it was chaos that led to the Great Depression. Then a new gold-based international currency was laid out, and then the centerpiece was the US dollar, which in turn would be linked to gold, and then at that time it was $35 an ounce. So this laid the foundation for 2 decades. So it was peace, prosperity, and fixed exchange rates. Then it sadly came to an end in 1971 when Nixon did away with the gold standard. So this is how we got to where we are because of what happened in 71. So we pretty much headed back in that direction. So here it says all of this rumbling may have come to nothing if not for an outbreak of the hostilities of Ukraine. So basically Russia was isolated. So this is what started what's coming with this gold-backed BRICS currency that's coming. So since Russia was isolated from the SWIFT system, the Russian government is now ready to basically start their own BRICS currency and not use the SWIFT system, which is what really caused this. And you can actually read that in this paragraph. I'm not gonna read it, but we'll leave the link to this article in the bio so that people can see. And this is from Forbes, so that way you guys can see why this is happening and what caused it. So it's really America's fault because they, told Putin and them that they couldn't use the SWIFT system. And yeah, so that's what got us.
Cutting you off. We cutting you off.
Yeah.
Cutting our water off.
Yeah, that's what they've been doing. They've been weaponizing not only the dollar, but the payments rails that the world was using. And if you didn't go in agreement with their policies or, with their warmongering or anything, you try to stop their agenda, they just, cut you off. That's what they were doing. And we've seen that, or they'll go after you like they did Gaddafi. But yeah, this is something that has been happening over decades, over time. And then
that's also brought up in this article too. That's the Gaddafi stuff. That's all in this. Like they go over all of this. Yeah. All of that's in this article. That's why that's an important article. Definitely gonna make sure we drop that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good, because this is why this show is so powerful, because when people really start to analyze history and a lot of events that they've seen take place over time, you will start to realize the common denominator, or the main root or the source. And it usually is going to come down to money and power or resources, you see. And so, and the control of those things. And then when we talked about the dollar going off the gold standard in 1971, okay? And now the everything that we've seen since then has been a decline, has been crisis after crisis, war after war, breakdown after breakdown globally. And now the world is saying no more. We no longer want to operate on this fiat currency. We no longer want to be controlled and manipulated, by the dollar and the people who are just printing it at will. We want to go back to what the world has acknowledged for value for centuries, which is gold and silver, something of stable means to help our economy, help stabilize our growth. And it's important that people realize that that's where the world is going, because if you don't make the shift now, if you don't have these assets now, you will get wiped out with the present financial system.
Thanks. People want to talk about how volatile crypto is. They don't want to talk about how volatile the dollar is. So yes,
or the stock
market. For them to have their own gold-backed currency, they can settle all the petrol trades now, because again, nobody's using the dollar for the petrol trade anymore. So now they can be using their own currency for those transactions. And you already know that besides us, the biggest oil producers are Saudi Arabia and Russia. So
who's also applied for BRICS.
Exactly. So they all about to get down. They all one gang now.
Yeah, they're not playing. Just to piggyback off of what Maverick just said, it's over 40 countries that have applied to BRICS. So if we can name a few real quick if y'all want
go
to.
down that list.
Yeah.
All right, I got the list right here. Saudi Arabia, like we just said, Iran, Argentina, Indonesia, Egypt, Ethiopia, the Philippines, Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam, China, Russia, Brazil, Egypt, just to name a couple. That ain't even all of them.
Yeah, that's a lot, y'all.
It's over
that's
40.
A whole lot.
It's a whole lot of territory.
That's a whole lot.
It's over 40. I just really named the ones because I'm not even about to sit here and try and pronounce some of them places, but it's definitely over 40 countries that have applied to BRICS.
And what's funny too is that I responded to one video on TikTok and one person was like, "Oh, I'm not worried about BRICS." And I made a response video. I'm like, okay, let me educate you real quick. So individually, we're not worried about these countries. They're the small potatoes. But together, that's a different story. Like we're talking about the biggest oil producers coming together. We're talking about other, superpowers that, like China and Russia, like that alone is a wrap. So they like this. So,
but my thing is, why do people act like we have stuff in America? Everything we get is from overseas. It's imported.
Because
why do people act like they need us?
You got to think for people. You got to think for people. It's like, they're not concerned with Bangladesh because they don't know what these people are over there producing. But if Bangladesh and Indonesia, where a lot of stuff come from, all get together with BRICS, you're talking about possibly 80% of the GDP. You know what I'm saying? 80% of the GDP is possibly going to be comprised of BRICS nations.
Yeah, that's all crazy
right there.
And people like, oh, this not gonna be a big deal. The dollar's so strong, and like, what's y'all rebuttal against that? When you hear people say like, cash is king, the U.S. dollar's so strong, it's not going anywhere. They need us.
And
What's
here's an
y'all rebuttal?
argument with for everybody who is like, oh yeah, the dollar ain't going nowhere, and a lot of people hold their dollar in their reserves. But now with this whole BRICS situation and them creating their own currency, and it's backed by gold. So what does that tell you now? So now they're like, shit, we don't need this dollar anymore. We can use the BRICS Nation dollar or whatever it is, and it has value because it's backed by gold. So now
And
we
this
just
has
use
been
that.
done before. It's history repeating itself. We just gave y'all examples of all of this happening before. Like,
Yeah.
this ain't nothing new. They've done it before. So if
Yeah.
they've done it before, they're gonna do it again. That's why I don't
Yeah.
know why people don't think this is a big deal. This is actually a game changer. It's gonna devalue the dollar very bad. Like, it's not even.
When you're looking at the alliance of BRICS, and like even right now what's going on in Niger and this potential war with ECOWAS and backed by France in the West against Niger and some other African countries that are tired of being exploited by the West for their resources. You're seeing that obviously France is hurting right now because they Nord Stream 2 got blew up by Biden. So everybody knows that already. So they showed on natural gas. And then there's a pipeline that's coming from Nigeria. So nobody's talking about the pipeline. They just talk about the coup and overthrowing the president. But there's a pipeline that's coming from Nigeria through Niger all the way up that's supposed to supply France with oil and natural gas. And so now you're seeing, once again, it's like, well, why are these countries having these troubles? And why is this crisis breaking out here? And what's really going on? And then when you really find out, it's about the movement of resources, access to resources, and exploitation of them. So France, if they don't get this deal done, France is in trouble because they have enough natural gas to last them maybe for another 2 years or so. But really, Europe and them, they rely on Africa. They're getting all their resources from Africa. And if that changed, if that stopped, and now we're going back to a gold-backed currency and everything next, you're starting to see once again the decline of the G7 and the rise of the BRICS nations.
And it's funny you say resources because just the other day, Ukraine, they had a drone strike and pretty much it effed everything up because they attacked Russia. Russia moves their wheat through the waterways. So what do you think that's going to do? What do you think the trickle effect of that is? Wheat prices, food prices will increase because of that, because that's their major, one of their major goods that they send out. So it's all a trickle effect, everything, all the moves that's happening right now are going to affect everyone.
Yeah, everybody enjoy that $20 loaf of bread. So
Man,
that's what's about to happen.
Just telling people, get you some gold. I can't screen.
Yeah, right there. You good.
Yeah.
1 ounce, whether you're doing coins.
That's a real flex.
Bars, you know what I'm saying? Make sure it's pure from the government mints. We got the link for that. And of course, we got to get you the silver. Holding on to cash is a liability at this point. Is if you're serious about protecting your financial future and your ability to provide for yourself and your family, you have to have a nest egg, a savings of real money, of assets, and that's physical gold and silver.
Boom.
Right.
Hey, that's the real flex right there. Y'all, I keep bringing this up because y'all keep doing it. Y'all all up there with this.
I want to see people starting to do gold and silver bars.
Yeah, I want to see that. Let's go bar for bar. Look, let's go bar for bar, literally. For real.
Also, I heard that speaking of the G7 and Europe, I heard Germany's in trouble too. I heard they're about to go bankrupt soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Deutsche Bank, the whole financial system, they're all in crisis right now. That's why they're saying that they're going to take us to war. When all else fails, they're going to take us to war. They're not just going to allow, Africa and the people, the Black and brown people, to rise up into wealth and change the paradigm of power and influence. They're going to take us to war. You know what I mean? And that's what we're getting prepared for. We're in an economic war. We're in a financial war. We're in a health war right now. It's all type of wars and being waged on the people. And that's why, we're trying to bring this information so people can wake up and not be a casualty of it, but actually, benefit and create generational wealth from it.
But I really want to stay right here for a second because a lot, like, especially in my comments on TikTok, so many people are waiting for a doomsday and they don't realize we're in a war right now. Like I get tired, I get so sick of seeing comments anytime I'm talking about Brics or gold and silver. They're like, the gold and silver not gonna feed you, crypto not gonna feed you, blah blah blah. We getting ready to be in a war. I'm like, y'all waiting on the doomsday, and we in war right now. It's not the war that you think, because you don't see a bunch of bombs and stuff going on outside, but we really in a war right now. And I think people just so depressed that they want like a world ending type of event to occur, because they just so down and out that they just like, let's just, I just
hit
want
the
the world
reset
to
button.
end. Just hit the button. Let's just end it all. Like,
Right.
and it's sad, and that's not what's going on. That's not how it's gonna happen, which is why we come up here on this platform, so that you guys can have ways to prepare, because it's not gonna happen like that. This is not a doomsday. This is not the world about to end and y'all about to see bombs and bullets going everywhere. No, like Rick just said, this is a financial war, a health war. Like it's multiple wars going on right now that we fighting.
The thing is that people, like you said, it's not gonna be like how World War One was, World War Two, cats fighting in the streets and all that. It's not gonna be that. It's gonna be behind closed doors. And when people say the end of the world is like a metaphor. Like the old world is done. The way we did things in the old days, those are done.
Right.
The new world is happening right now. The cryptocurrency and all this other stuff that we talk about,
Web3,
digital assets, wealth transfer, all that stuff is happening right now. So when we're talking about the end of the world, the end of the old world going into the new world.
Exactly.
Because you got to think, if things blew up and everything, we got a whole nother issue of problems. We got a whole nother thing to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Oh, just blow it all up. Okay. All right. We'll see who survives.
Right. Because I'm like, what is that about to do?
I think another good live stream would be, or another good video would be, is the levels of war that's being waged on the people, because I don't think we really realize in how many ways war is being waged on us. So when we talk about the education system, when we talk about the entertainment industry, you know what I'm saying? When we're talking about the environment, health.
Yeah.
That sounds like the next video. So that could be a part 2 to this one. Yeah. Remember that, Rick.
Part two.
Yeah, I knew this was gonna get deep, because this discussion is one of them ones, man. So yeah, we can definitely do that. That could be the next episode, honestly. Because this need to be talked, because nobody else is talking about it. What we come on here and do is talk about what should be the mainstream news, what y'all should be discussing amongst your friends and family. Like that's what we coming up here talking about. Because what they showing y'all on TV ain't no news. I don't care about an indictment for Trump. I don't care about no Hunter Biden laptop. I don't care about any of that stuff, man. Because it don't. At the end of the day, bro, they're not going to jail. That's why we talking about it. They're too powerful. You know what I'm saying? So y'all really need to talk about what's really going on in the wars that we are really facing right now. That's the real discussion.
Everybody's sharing folding chairs. You know, hot right now. Folding chairs. You know.
Folding chairs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Don't get me started on that. I'm gonna go ahead and let me switch the topic. But the other thing that I wanted to point out was the U.S. doesn't want to have the debt talk until 2025. Did y'all know that? So they put off the debt discussion until 2025. So that's how you know this is like what's going to happen on the 22nd through the 24th is about to be like, this is the shock to the system Rosie Rios was talking about. Like, this is about to be insane.
And all of it's, it's BS anyway, because they can never reduce the deficit, and they can cut it off, because the system perpetuates that they have to continue to increase or inject the money into the system. Otherwise, it will collapse. You see what I'm saying? If they give the U.S. $1, the Federal Reserve, which is a private bank, and then they charge them interest, well, where are they going to get the money to pay the interest? That means they have to continue to borrow. So there's always going to be a deficit. You will never get rid of the deficit. But that's an illusion that they play to make it seem like they have fiscal responsibility. But every year, every time it comes up,
they keep raising it.
Have to raise it. They can't not raise it.
It's at the point of no return. That's the thing. So it's like, how much longer we gonna play this game? Like, it's at the point of no return at this point.
Yeah, we need to check America's credit score. Y'all be checking our credit scores. How about we check y'all's credit score? Not financially sound.
I don't think y'all want to see that
super
shit.
Negatives.
y'all like, damn, my credit ain't that good.
Pull up America's Credit Karma. I want to see.
It's
They run
double A
this shit into the
plus.
ground.
It just downgraded it. Fitch just downgraded it. It was AAA. Now they double A plus, and Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary, is all angry and upset about it. And the last time this happened was in 2008. So people don't really realize that we're on the precipice, of something even worse than the 2008 financial crisis. And another major bank just collapsed this past Friday. But they're not putting this stuff out in the news. And then when I go ahead and share these articles now, since we come out the money real quickly.
Here we go.
But this
right
here,
pull it up.
Hold on, we about to step on toes without stepping on toes. About to step on toes.
So this is from The Hill, right? And this was from 2019. This is stuff that people aren't aware of, but the Social Security Administration during that time ran up a $9 trillion deficit. I want you to understand something. They said 9 trillion, not 9 billion, $9 trillion. You got to put these numbers in perspective to when you're hearing them talk about, certain things on the news or certain things that's going on with the banks or whatever have you. But that's a third of the deficit of the debt. It's $30 trillion in debt they say we owe, right? Well, that's almost a third of it right there. And so nobody noticed that. And that was in 2019. So based on the data that they came up with from 2019, by 2035, okay, which is not too far away, Social Security is bankrupt. It's insolvent. The money's not there. So not only we have an economic crisis, not only we having a shift globally, not only we have inflation, not only have the dollar losing value, the U.S. losing credibility and status internationally, but literally the foundations that the American people rely on for their retirement and for their quality of lifestyle literally won't be here. And if they don't make the government, that's why I say if nobody's coming to save you, you got to save yourself.
Exactly.
So by 2035, ain't no more Social Security. The money's not there.
Listen, that's not far. And a lot, bro, and a lot of baby boomers are still going to be alive in 2035. Like,
for sure.
I don't think y'all understand. Like, Social Security runs out in 2035, and y'all think this is a game. Like,
that's like what, 10, 12 years from now?
Yeah, it's not long.
Years. That's it.
It's not long. That's not long. And I mean, a lot of baby boomers, most of them are what's the youngest baby boomer? What, 57, 58? Like, come on now, you're gonna be in your 60s. Like, you still gonna be, you got a lot of life left, which means you still got bills to pay, you still gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? You probably gonna have grandkids, like, you know what I'm saying? And you ain't gonna have no Social Security. And they're not even talking about this. That's the thing, like a lot of people, and I'm glad you showed the article, because if we just would have said it, they'd have been like, where's the source? What's the source? And this article came out in 2019. That's how long this news has been out here, which is why I'm telling y'all, this is the mainstream. This is what you need to be concerned about. This is what you need to be preparing for. Like, this ain't to fearmonger you. This is to show you so that now you know, so now you can prepare. That's all we're trying to do.
That's why we excited about Web3. That's why we excited at the next iteration of the internet. Bring it on. Decentralization. Bring it on. Because listen, while we're staying ahead and people like us on the same frequency staying ahead, those people that she just mentioned, that you guys just mentioned, that are lagging behind, they're going to be looking for answers. And who you think is going to give the solutions? I'm just saying.
Exactly. It's an opportunity. That's why, and I'm glad Rick got it right there. It's a wealth transfer. Like, either you're going to be a part of it or you're going to miss it. And I'm going to have to quote Crypto 901 right now, but you're going to be in the UBI line. And that ain't you. Y'all don't want to be on universal basic income, man. I'm telling you, it's not what you want.
Yeah, he done for on that.
Yeah.
For sure. And I know we've talked about the dollar, them ditching the US dollar in all these countries, but I also want to talk about what will replace the dollar. So what's gonna, what's next? So what I've researched online as of right now, they're saying it's gonna be the Chinese yuan, gold, crypto, the euro, and a common Brics currency, which is why August 22nd through the 24th is going to be monumental, because that's what's about to replace the dollar. So this is coming, it's happening. We showed y'all all the proof. We're going to leave the links in the description. Y'all can check it out for yourself. But a lot of you that's trying to downplay this situation, stop trying to avoid this problem away, because it's not going to go away because you're trying to avoid it and ignore it. And, you have this false narrative about the US dollar and cash is king, and them days is over. We just told y'all that it's the end of the old world. We're going into a new world. Either you're going to be a part
my
of
my bet is on crypto, because I think that's the hardest to manipulate. When we're talking about other currencies, even the Chinese yuan, even that's manipulated. So, then they print up stuff and They can manipulate it. Any kind of currency that is ran by a government can definitely be manipulated. When it comes to crypto, there's fixed amounts. So,
Mhm.
and it's a protocol attached to it to where, you know, there's smart contracts and everything else tied to it to where, you know, these programs are running the systems. So not people. So it's trustless. It's a trustless system. So that's my bet is on crypto. That's what I'm saying.
Me too. Me too. I agree.
That's my
I
front
would-
runner.
You know, I 100% agree. Crypto and gold, gold and silver.
Yeah,
That's
and
just,
gold and silver because there's
that's just what it
scarcity in that.
is.
There's
Yeah.
scarcity in that.
And I'm gonna
So,
put it at a balance too. I'm not gonna put crypto over gold and silver. I think it's gonna be a balance. Like that's
Right.
just where it's going. Yeah, it's about to get real out here.
A little bonus one on that, but yeah, the IMF and you know these institutions have been talking about this for decades, and they got the SDRs, which is select drawing rights, and they got these basket of currencies. They already knew that the world was no longer going to operate a dollar, and they wanted to provide options to the world. But instead of them providing options to the world is saying, no, we want to provide our own option. We want to provide our own solution.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of insane for us to expect the people who have created the problem to provide the solution for us.
Insane.
Insanity. You know what I mean? Like, why will, you know, we go to the Federal Reserve, who's public enemy number one, who's created a problem, okay, and then be like, you know, hey, we need help. You know, that don't make sense. So when I pull this up, you know, as a little bonus here, this is September 10th. This is C-SPAN. So for those
2000.
this was 2001, but
yeah,
this
I
was
remember C-SPAN.
Yep.
okay. So 2010, September 10th in 2001, the day after the Pentagon got hit, okay, and the area and where it got hit was where they were supposed to be doing the accounting to try to find where the missing $2.3 trillion went. How does $2.3 trillion just go missing?
I smell
How?
a conspiracy. I smell a conspiracy.
Nah, I think it's a fact because it don't even make that ain't even logical. How do you lose
And then you have
2.3
2.3.
trillion, not million?
It's not real.
even-
But it's the first
Old Donnie Rumsfeld.
Oh, here we go.
Here's what he said.
Tangled in our anchor chain. Our financial systems are decades old. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
Well, there it is.
Come on,
Well,
bro.
Hey, I need right there.
How
There you go.
convenient.
So much.
And we'll make
How
sure the link is in the
convenient.
description. Yeah, we'll make sure that link is in the description so you
Yep.
can watch the whole thing yourself.
Absolutely.
So how do you lose that much money? I don't even lose $20, let alone we talking trillions. That's
Yeah.
The
crazy.
thing is, it's not lost. The thing is, it wasn't lost. We know it wasn't
never
lost.
we know what they was doing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
honestly, when you talk about SDRs and special drawing rights, just guys do your Googles and look up ESDRs, electronic special drawing rights. Okay, and it'll send you down a whole rabbit hole with that. So listen, you hear it here on BlockNation, man. We give y'all the real, we
Hey.
give y'all the facts, we give y'all the receipts. You know what I'm saying? All these receipts, and y'all not making no moves. Hey,
If
Yeah,
you
I got a quick conspiracy on 9/11 too, because not only how you guys just saw, they magically lost, you know, the 2.3 trillion in the Pentagon where they're doing the counting just conveniently, but 9/11 was a hit job where everybody was just getting bread. So somebody else, I forgot his name, but he owned a building. Remember that building that just collapsed? It didn't get hit.
Building 7.
it just collapsed.
Building 7.
Yeah,
Yes.
he got an insurance policy or Building 7. Okay, you talking about? Yeah, you talking
There
about?
you
Yeah.
go.
He took out an
He
insurance
took out an
policy.
insurance policy right before, and the joint
Specifically.
just collapsed.
Yeah.
Oh, it just collapsed.
Oh,
Didn't
man.
hit. Damn, but yeah, he collected
About
that bread
$2
though.
$2 billion insurance policy he took out on that.
Crazy.
Damn. Insane. So listen, y'all heard it here, man. Look, you can either be a part of this wealth transfer, or you can miss it. It's up to you. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna make nobody do nothing. We just here to share the information so that you can prepare yourself and your family and everybody else. But appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all go to shopblocknation.com for the merch. Make sure y'all go on the Telegram to Real Block Nation, no spaces. To get in that Telegram, it's a fire Telegram. We share a lot of information in there. And then I'm gonna let Maverick tell y'all the text opt-in, and we're gonna see y'all next time.
Yes, sir. So make sure you guys text BlockNation to 26786 to get our text opt-in to stay up to date for our merch. When we go live, when we have new videos drop, you will hear it first on text. So text the word BlockNation right there to 26786.
All right, we'll see y'all next time.
All right, peace.